Hello everyone, it's a beautiful day in the forest outside of Oslo. And today's topic is how to pack your backpack for 1 week, what to bring. And I'll be quite thorough this time, so you can have a suggestion of in detail how to do this. This is quite an interesting topic. A lot of people have been asking about this. Okay, for the record, Jan, he couldn't join us today, so he's probably on a pub downtown Oslo somewhere. But Mattis, he's with us, so he's going to do some of the filming. I'll start off on my own. So now I have put all the stuff out on the ground, and I'll go through them piece by piece. So it's the backpack. It's a waterproof bag, a big one, and then there's a tent, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, clothing, more clothing, map and compass, an axe, a saw, a knife, a tinder, a fire kit, and then the kettle and the cooking gear. And then here's a book and some writing stuff and fishing gear, drinking bottle, a foldable cup, mosquito repellent, and food. This is lunch, this is dinner, breakfast. Okay people, before I start, at the end of this program we'll put up the list so you can see a detailed list over everything that I'm going to talk about, everything that I bring in this pack for 1 week summer trip. And remember, this is just a suggestion from me, because you can easily pack this pack lighter than I'm doing now. I'm going to end up at the weight of 17.5 kilos for 1 week. Approximately 12.5 kilos of gear, clothing, all the gear you need, and also 5 kilos, a little less than 5 kilos of food. And that's quite a bit of food, so you can easily reduce the food and the gear at least down to 14, maybe 15 kilos easily. But you know, it's important that you're comfortable as well. And then again, you need to cut out a few things. You can't go bananas and bring everything you need, everything you think you need. Okay, anyway. Start off with a backpack. I'm choosing a smaller one, 75 liters. It's actually not big enough if I had to bring hunting gear and a camera bag and big cameras, then I would have to go for a bigger pack. But since I'm only bringing fishing gear and all the rest of the gear that I need and food, this one will do the job. And it's a light sack in its own. It's 2.2 kilos, so very light in itself. But of course, the weather is fine now, but it can start raining, it can start pouring down, so I need to keep everything dry. And that's a very important point. So the next item is the waterproof big inside bag that I'm using to put all the gear in. And this is how that one looks. It's 75 liters of volume, so it's waterproof. And it's sealed on the inside. So I've used this many times, so I know the gear is being kept dry in this one. And it's big, and this is a little bit hard to get because not all there aren't many producers making this. So normally they stop at 35 liters for some reason. So if you don't find this one or have something similar, you can also use a plastic bag, a garbage bag, but use a heavy duty one, a thick one. That can do the same job, but the big difference is, of course, this is even tougher, even stronger, but you can also close this one in a much better way than you can with a regular garbage bag. But that's your choice. But a garbage bag will do the job. But you know, plastic, I hate plastic. So this one's better. And the tent that I've chosen for this trip is a 3-season tent. It weighs 1,430 grams, including 8 stakes. So that's acceptable, not too heavy. Okay, and this is my sleeping pad. I'm bringing this one and not an inflatable one, because this one I can also use outside by the fire. So I don't have to be as careful with this one as with an inflatable one. Even though the inflatable one is much more comfortable. I agree, I admit that. But this is a good choice. 684 grams. Okay, and the sleeping bag. This is the one. It's a 3-season sleeping bag. It weighs 1,040 grams. It's down, so it's quite compact. And 1 kilo, that's acceptable in summer. And I know that I will sleep well in this one. And I also have one of those inflatable pillows. That's luxury, but wow, they're great. I love them. So, and this one weighs 150 grams. I put this in the same bag that I put the sleeping bag. And note that I've put my sleeping bag in a waterproof bag. It's not the bag that the sleeping bag came with. When it comes to the clothing, I'll start with what I wear when I start walking. It's of course my shoes, light trekking pants, not waterproof because this day is warm and it's more comfortable to walk around in a light pair of pants, and then a thin shirt which is windproof, almost windproof, and it dries very easily and it's not too warm even though it's black. And then I have a rain jacket. This is waterproof and windproof, and I have a pair of pants that's also wind and waterproof. So I can put this pair of pants outside the ones that I'm wearing, or I could just take off the pants that I'm wearing and wear only this one. Very useful. Other clothing. In the top of my backpack, or high up in the backpack, is a down jacket, a small one. It weighs 529 grams. Very useful when you take breaks, if it's if the weather is wet and cold and windy. So put on a down jacket that keeps you warm, and it's also nice in the evening. And you can also, if it gets cold, sleep in this one in the down bag. Then it gets even warmer, not least because of the hoodie. So this is a piece of clothing that I'm really fond of. I use a lot of them. And then extra clothing. Also, you notice that I'm putting everything in small waterproof bags, even though I have the big blue one, which is also waterproof. It's just my nature as an expedition man, you know, safety, and backup. So you never know. If you fall into a river, maybe the water comes through. Then you have another safety layer, you know. So in this one, I have a wool shirt. Wool is absolutely by far the best. And then a pair of wool pants. This one is 49% wool. And this pair of socks is wool. Dry socks in your sleeping bag, that's a must. And then I also brought 2 of these necks. These are fleece. They could also be wool, but these are fleece. And I bring 2 of them because this one I can use when I walk. So this will get moist or half wet. So I'll just use that while I'm moving. But in my tent, in my sleeping bag, I have another one. And this one is a bit special. If you're up north, where the sun doesn't go down, you can use this in your sleeping bag as a hat, and also something that can help you sleep. You can just put it on top of your head like this, and then you breathe and you have covered your eyes and you fall more easily asleep. I like that one. And also I brought a pair of extra boxers. So short underwear, you know, it's not really necessary, but you know, it's comfortable. And of course, map and compass, and a waterproof bag for the map. I always bring this, even though I have my phone. And today, you can also actually have a map and orientate with the phone. But I like doing it the old way. So I always bring this because this is like a book. You can spend an hour just studying this terrain on the map. And I often do that just to relax. Because then if you spend some time doing that, the next day when you start walking, you will remember the formation in the terrain because you have read it from the map. And of course, I need something to make a fire and some sharp tools. So this is my axe. I brought an axe. I brought a small folding saw, and I brought a knife that has a carabiner, so I can switch it from the backpack to underneath the tarp, to in winter to the polka, to the sled. Just an old habit that I have. It works. And there's also a fire steel on this knife, so that's a safety in case the matches get wet. And in this one I have a fire kit. It contains of dry birch bark that I've gathered other places. So this, and also a knife and matches. I always know that I can start a fire even though it's wet all around me. And notice the axe. This is normally sharp. So what I've done here, I've just taken a dog booty, a big dog booty, size extra large, and put the blade of the axe in there. So then you can put it down in your backpack and you don't have to ruin things. Okay, as you can tell, I'm quite fond of all these small bags to organize the stuff. And in this one I have my cooking gear. So I have one box of butane propane gas with the gas burner. And why do I bring that when you can make a fire, especially in the mountains? Well, if it's pouring down, if it's raining all week, I just love starting the day with a cup of coffee, not having to leave my sleeping bag to go outside and make a fire. It's much easier, much more comfortable just to start the day with this gas burner, so I can get my coffee without any stress. Okay, and then also in a small plastic bag, extra matches. And then a spoon. This can be titanium. I think this one is aluminum. And then a coffee kettle. This one is titanium. This one is 1.2 liters, I think. So you can make a lot of food, different food in this one. But I also, on this trip, have the luxury of a frying pan. This is luxury. You could stick with either the coffee kettle or this one. You can also make everything else in this one. And a gripper for it gets a lot easier when you have this gripper. So that's all the cooking gear. Okay, another small bag of pure luxury actually. This is not necessary. But I like it. I've talked about this wooden cup before. It weighs 143 grams. Not necessary to bring it, but I love it, so I have to have it. And also I like reading in my tent in the evenings, so I brought a book. This one is Harlan Coben, Win. And as the trip goes on and you read, you can just burn the pages on the fire every evening, so you get less to carry. My wife doesn't like that, but that's the way it is. And also I have 20 sheets of white paper just for writing. I really enjoy writing. It's diary. It's if you have a bear encounter, some fishing experiences. It's the details that I love to write and get down on the paper. And a small headlamp. It's summer. You don't really need a big headlamp, so this will do the job. You could also, of course, consider bringing a power bank so you can reload it. This is rechargeable. Okay, and then there's paper. And this is actually all the paper I bring for the whole week, and I use this to blow my nose. For the toilet, I don't need paper. This is also something I can discuss later on, but in the forest, in the woods, there's lots of natural toilet paper. Moss, grass, there's no problem. And also, this is the closest I get to a first aid kit. This is some plaster, some Advil, painkillers, and then for my ears, if it's really noisy. Some people might think that's strange. Why do you bring earplugs? Because sometimes it's quite noisy in nature. If it's a bird, some birds make a lot of noise, which is cozy in a way, and also if you have camp close to a river or a waterfall, then it can be nice to have these. And of course, extra matches also here, and then Compeed, which is for blisters if I were to get those. That rarely happens nowadays. And also some this is some ointment for, well, it's normally for a dog paws, but you can use it for blisters. Especially men, we often get blisters on the inside of our thighs, and then a little bit of this will solve it. Vaseline could also do that job. So, and then there's a pair of glasses, reading glasses. And then when it comes to the dental hygiene, I bring a toothbrush, toothpaste, and a small box with plastic toothpicks. No soap. You could bring that, of course. 1 week is not long, so you can do without the soap. Okay, then I brought some fishing gear, and this is the rod. This rod is glass fiber. It's really simple, but it's sturdy and it won't break. I know that. So that's why I choose this one. And in this bag, I have everything I need. I have the bait, a box of worms, which is always nice to bring. And of course, the reel with 0.25 millimeters of line. And then I have a box of small minnows and spoons. This is, I just took the closest box. You can have a look and see what's in here. This is spoons and minnows that you catch trout, bass, and pike. All the types of fish that are in the Norwegian forest here and the mountains. And note that I have a small strap around this box, because if I don't want this box to open, and so that I can lose everything that's in here. So this one, that's a smart thing. And also I have this little box here that has several rooms. There's flies in here. There's I don't know if you can see this, but a lot of nice stuff here. So you can try some fly fishing with a spinning rod, and hooks for the worms. Small, very practical box. And then some extra line, and one wobbler fallen out of the I normally bring at least one of these because this is a great weapon. But there are really sharp hooks on them, so you need to be careful. And then a couple of floaters. These normally do the job. And lead. That's about it. That's all you need. So actually, all in all, the fishing gear is less than 1 kilo. And then I have my drinking bottle. This one takes 1 liter. And I have some mosquito repellent with 50% DEET, very efficient. And then I have a small, very practical folding cup. This one weighs only 24 grams and you can use it for everything. Very nice. And also, not to forget, in my pockets I have my phone, I have my car keys, and I have my Visa cards. These will go into my backpack and I'll keep them waterproof. Okay, all that's left now is the food. I think we'll just pour it out on the ground. For those of you who have seen the episode where I talk about expeditions, there I said that I bring from 400 to 500 grams of food per day. That's an expedition lasting, for instance, a month. On this 1 week trip, I can bring a little bit more. So today I've packed almost 700 grams per day, 680 something. So I'm not going to starve, not at all. Okay, let's start with the breakfast. I've written it up here. It's 6 portions because in a week, of course, you eat breakfast the first day you start, so it's only going to be 6 breakfasts. And the same with the dinners, 6 dinners. But lunch, it's 7 portions. So 6 portions of breakfast is, in the way I've packed it, 1,665 grams, which is 277 grams of breakfast per day, which is quite a lot. So what do I have here? It's really simple. This is, what's the English word? Crackers. They're not sweet. This is, there are 8 of these in each package, so 4 for every breakfast. And then for spread, I have either a box of mackerel in tomato sauce or 1 box of liver paste. So, and then coffee. And also a box of instant tea. That's the whole breakfast. And just for the record, this aluminum, if I have a fire, I'll put it on the fire, and so that all the rest of the oil and the rest of the food is going to burn. And then I'll take it out of the fire and step on it and put it in the bottom of my backpack. So I bring this garbage back and throw it at my home instead. Important. And then my lunch bag, 7 portions. All in all, 1,351 grams. That means 193 grams per day, which is quite a lot, which means I probably won't eat the whole thing for lunch, which means I can save something for dessert after dinner. That's an important point. And what do I have here? Well, I have, again, very simple. I have 5 of these. This is nuts with some raisins and some chocolate, and also biscuits. This one weighs 200 grams. So actually, you could divide this in 2 and just bring 100 grams for lunch. You can live on that. So 2 of these and 5 of these. Very simple. Okay, the last bag is dinner. And there's a little snail there. I won't eat that one, not for now anyway. Okay, this is 6 portions of dinner, 1,682 grams, which means 280 grams per day. And notice that I brought my fishing gear, so I decided to actually bring a bottle of floating butter or liquid butter for frying the fish. This is luxury, pure luxury. You can boil the fish, but of course the taste is going to be a lot better. And notice that I've used an empty soda can, because this plastic takes a lot of beating, because the butter in the store, that bottle that it comes with, is not good enough, not at all. That's why I'm using this one. This one you can just throw away and it'll take the beating. Okay, what do I have here? I have also very simple. I have 3 bags of mashed potatoes, and 3 bags of mac and cheese. Just add boiling water, and then in addition to either the mashed potatoes or the ham and cheese, I have some cured sausage. This one is divided into 2, so half of this goes into 1 dinner. And I cut it into small pieces, and then boil the pieces with the water, and then pour the whole thing into the kettle, and then let it stay for 7 or 8 minutes, and then you're good to go. That's the dinner, and lots of salt for the fish. So with almost 700 grams of food per day, I'm going to be fine. But it's quite a bit of food, so hopefully I'll catch fish so that I can eat the natural food that the forest has to give, and also probably bring some of the food back. That's one of the things that I always try to do: finish the trip with food left in your backpack. That's a safety thing for me, a good routine. Okay, so in total this backpack is going to weigh approximately 17.5 kilos, which is acceptable. I can remove a few things, some food, the frying pan, the liquid butter, and easily get down to 15 kilos, which is an easy pack to carry for a week in the mountains. Of course, you can go the other way. You can bring more luxury. So what haven't I brought this time that I often bring? Well, for instance, a pair of camping shoes, or the shoes that you use in the camp. It's very nice to just get out in the morning and not having to put on your wet mountain boots. And also a tarp in addition to the tent. You know, it's really nice if it's pouring down to bring a tarp, and then you can sit outside and still be dry even though it's raining. And also an inflatable mattress, an inflatable sleeping pad with a little pump. But you know, these 3 items all in all is a couple of kilos. So it's your choice. Looks like chaos, but there's a system in it. So now I'll show you how I will pack the pack, because it's important to have the right balance in it, and also have the most important things quickly available. So there's a system to that. I start with the big waterproof bag, and then I put my sleeping bag in there, and then put this to the bottom of the pack, and then I have the bag of extra clothing. So there's 2 soft bags in the bottom. I just push it down there. So now this pack can be put, you know, into the ground, and nothing's going to break. And then I want some of the more heavy stuff, which is the food, and also this reading stuff here. So the food, the dinner pack, like this, and then the book, which can also take some beating, and then food there. Okay, and then I take the axe and put it like this, because then the blade is going to be here, and it's not gonna be in the way. And the next one is, let's see what we got here. Well, it's the bag with the cooking gear. I'll put this about here. Yeah, it'll do. And then the fire kit, close, and then the saw, and then the down jacket close to the top of the pack. The next thing is the fishing gear, but now I think I'll just close this one. And then put the fishing gear on top, because I might stop if I want to stop and fish. And then I can also put the rain jacket and the rain pants on top here. And then I will close it. This pack is 75 liters, and there's still room. Okay, I actually have a room here. I could have put my jacket in here or my pants in there, but I choose not to now. And then in the bottom here, I'll put my tent. And this is important, because you really don't want to lose your tent. So you need to be sure it's fastened in a secure way. So I'll use the straps that are on the backpack, but I also use an extra strap. I take it in here. So, oh wait. And I also use one extra strap. I'll put this one through this little loop. This is just to, if I lose it, if both of these come loose, I know that I still will have this strap tied to it, so it can't fall totally off. And then the sleeping pad. See, I have two of these. So I use 3 straps extra. These straps, so they come in handy. So you can bring 4 or 5 of those. And this one, I could either go like this or just like this. Once you start using these straps, you never stop. Okay, and notice that you can put down the pack like this and it'll stand, which is really nice. And then of course a drinking bottle. Let's see here. A little tight, which is good, and I won't lose it. And then I'll put my drinking cup here. I could also put some lunch in here. And I have a similar pocket on the other side for the mosquito repellent. And then I have the map and the compass, and I'll put that on top of my backpack. And then the fishing rod. I'll just use this one here, put it down there like that. I could also put it underneath here. It's going to be protected. That's fine. And then the knife, I can take the knife on the other side. Knife here. like this, down there. Okay, and also notice when you pack your sleeping pad like this, you can also just turn the backpack around and sit on it. Very comfortable. So that's also, nothing gets wet because you have this one in the bottom. Okay, then we're all set. The backpack is ready. And again, use the list the next time you're gonna go for a week up in the mountains or in the forest in summer. Enjoy your trip.